Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Will Patterson, again with a new video, and today we're going to be talking all about logo design concepts. This video is brought to you by DotSpace. In a video beforehand, which you can check out in the description, we talked about the brief and the mood board. So now we're going to talk about conceptualizing the logo. I'm going to go from a totally different slant on this one because I want to make this video as easy to show you as possible. So I'm going to go on the slant of a barber shop, someone who does barbering, hairdresser, cuts our hair, actually has commissioned me to do a logo design for them. This is just a fake one to show you, but they've commissioned me to do a logo design, and they like a rough sort of vintage look, and they want something that looks nice, something contrasty. It's made for men, but they want to show that they're pretty stylish. So they want to have a logo type that's done that looks kind of retro and vintage as well. So I'm going to show you what I would do if they gave me this logo design to design. So the first thing is that on the iPad, I normally go ahead and create a grid on the iPad Pro. What this does is it enables me to come up with designs a bit quicker and a bit easier because I don't have to worry about what's up, down, or straight. So a lot of people do this actually on the iPad. So I'm just using a brush here that gives me a dot square grid or a square grid on here. And then I'm going to make a new layer on top. And I'm going to go ahead and change the opacity. Having this sort of grid line actually helps you come up with compositions a bit easier and spacing out, so it's something good to have. So the next thing I'll do is go to my pencil tool here, and I'm going to write down, so it's a barbershop, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this one Stu's Barber. So we're just going to write Stu's Barber. So the first thing you do when you have everything set up and you've got your pen and paper to the actual desk, you want to go ahead and just release your mind of a bunch of different ideas that you may have. So just go ahead and create ideas that you didn't even know you had by just literally drawing whatever. And this is going to look bad at first, but we're going to try and get a concept out of it to work on. So something that I want to do is actually go ahead and create maybe some script. So I'm going to use a brush, and you can do this with a brush pen if you want to. So I'm just going to go to my vintage thing here, and then we're going to go ahead and quickly just go make sure that this is the right size. And we're just quickly getting that brush effect down. Stu's Barber. Like this, and this is just giving me an idea. I mean, if you don't know how to use a brush pen, you don't need to. You just sort of like draw it. It's all about drawing. Everything on a brush pen you can do whilst drawing as well. So we've got that. It looks okay, but I don't really like it that much. So just create a new layer or get a new sheet of paper, whichever one you're working with. And then go ahead, and I'm going to change my brush pen to something a bit better. Like, maybe like this. So if I do barber first, like this. And I want to create, I know from a brush pen it's a lot easier, so it's good to learn. I've got videos on my brush pen as well. Maybe change the R a little bit there, because this one kind of looks like hair, but I don't want it to look too much like hair, kind of. And mind you, the way that I'm doing this is difficult because it's on the iPad in a weird setting whilst I'm drawing this. So I've got that, and we can do Stu's Barber or whatever, but I'm not really too fussed about that. So another idea that I have is just quickly putting it out there, is doing the lettering layouts, or to lay out the lettering. So let's just go ahead and write Stu small. So let's say this guy wants something. And then we can go barber like this. So like, I can even just get another brush pen out like this. Maybe use like a monoline sort of marker. And what this does is it just gets the ideas out. Because a lot of the time we go ahead and create ideas and then just go straight into Illustrator and think things look okay, when in reality they don't really look the best. So it's important to have ideas going on in the background, having different ways. Like, such as for this, what if I wanted to go up here now, and if I wrote Stu's really small, like if I did Stu's the other way around, So if I go Stews, and then we can like, the good thing about the iPad is you can move it. Move it here. And then what I can do is maybe create, you know, a barbers like this. So this is really rough. I'm using the grid to help me work out the spacing for this, but it's not supposed to look good at all. It's supposed to be just getting your ideas out. So we're doing this. And the kerning will be off, everything will be off. It's not a matter of like getting things perfect. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one here because I think we were on to a winner. But what you should do with this is you should keep all the work that you've done, all the sketches, because it shows the client what you've been working on. And it also gives them some variations to work with. So we'll just do this. Create another R. You see, when you learn how to do lettering, things become a lot easier. You don't need to like use fonts anymore, even though sometimes I use fonts just to see how it'll look. But I generally know what this is going to look like just from practice before. This R looks terrible. I need to like fix this a lot. And I haven't had any thought into this beforehand. This is just me doing it on the fly. You're seeing it on the fly. And the problem is that a lot of you will be looking at this and saying, well, that looks terrible. But it does, but the idea is good. At the minute, it works at the minute. Because I'm thinking, if it's a barber shop, the mainly people are going to be seeing it on a window. So I want to make sure we have something good on a windowsill for them to look at. Something that's easily sign painted too. And another good thing about the iPad is you can just move this and center it however you want. And we can copy parts off of this. So if I get another R, I don't have to draw another one. I just copy it in. And sort of drag it over here. And what we can do is just carry on with this. So I like this idea. So I'm going to fill it in. I'm just going to use one of the artistic brushes here just to get it down looking nice. So just fill this in like that. So the main challenge that you guys have when conceptualizing designs is that you're making it too complicated. You're trying to make it perfect at first, but in reality, you don't want to do that. You just want to get your ideas down there because your client doesn't have to see any of these. If your client wants to see what you've worked on, you can make it a bit better, but it's just about getting these ideas down. No one has to see this process at all. No one has to see the work that you're doing right now. It's just about getting your ideas down. So this is me getting my ideas down. And I know it looks terrible, and I keep telling you guys it looks terrible because I want you guys to understand that this video isn't about creating the logo yet. It's just about creating an idea of a logo. And this is a fundamental step. And especially if you work on multiple logo designs, sometimes I'll have the idea straight away and I know exactly what I should do, but then I work on it a bit more and I get other ideas and then I go back to the first one. But in reality, you want to just stick with what you know is best for that company whilst collaborating with them. So this is like a very simple logo, and it's the reason why it's not simpler than it is, or the reason why it's not got an icon, is because if I imagine my town and there's a barber shop in my town for men, I want it to be bold and stylish, and I want to be able to put it on the window. So if this was like painted in like, you know, sign painted in gold or whatever, someone's gilded it with gold, it would look pretty cool on the window. And it also looks pretty manly as well. It's not got much femininity inside of it because big bold text and nice monoline writing. Everything's pretty consistent. So the reason why I'm actually filling it all in is so I can have a look at the balance of the logo to see if it'll work. Your eyes look at things differently depending if it's got a line or if it's filled in. And what we could have, like, depending if they got more information, we could have like some more information down here. So like if it's like, you know, men's barber, or style. But as you can see there, we have got a logo design that looks very bad, but the idea looks good. What will happen is it will look a lot cleaner once we make it better on the iPad. But there is an idea and a concept. But what if we wanted to make another one? Well, basically you just repeat the process. You come up with a few ideas. That is the logo design right there. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, press that red subscribe button. We're nearly at 100,000. It is so cool to see everyone on here. Thank you so much for being on the channel and supporting everything that I do. It's incredible. Make sure you visit the sponsored links down in the description below. Let me know what you think of the logo and I'll catch you in the next video. See you soon. This video is brought to you by DotSpace. DotSpace is a domain registration company that I use for my website and my portfolio at willpatterson.space. It's a really creative way of having a memorable domain name for your client website or portfolio. For more information and to get your discount, click the link in the description below.